Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and this video is about how to deploy a React project to Netlify. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to spin up two React projects using two different React templates. So you can see that the process is pretty much the same. The important part is that you learn what are the commands of your particular React template. The same logic will apply to Vue or Angular. So if you ever work with Vue or Angular, or any other kind of framework that requires a build step, okay, this should be instructive on how to deploy it to Netlify or many other tools. Okay, so first we'll do the create React app route. Well, first we'll just create the project. So let me just open up the terminal, okay, and then we'll just do this. First we'll do create React app. So npx create React app. We'll just call this project 1. Okay, and that should be almost there. It's doing the thing. Cool. So that project is installed. So we see here project 1, and then we'll do npx create React basic, which is a sort of stripped down template I made. Create React basic. And call this project 2. Okay, so that built out the folder. So there we go. Okay. Now, first thing I want to point out is that, again, in any node base, and how do you know it's like generally, what I mean by a project with a build step is generally React, Angular, Vue. What it does is that you would develop using React, Angular, or Vue, and under the hood, there are scripts running, whether it's Webpack or Rollup or Grunt or Gulp or Browserify or one of these kind of bundlers, task running tools that's going to do a bunch of things. It's going to take the code you write, okay, and bundle them, meaning turn them into one big JavaScript file that'll connect to your end HTML. It will, transpile your code using Babel, turn it into sort of older browser compliant JavaScript. It might minify your code, take out all the spaces, and do other kind of transforms to get your final build. So essentially, it's kind of like a compile step. It compiles everything you built into something you can deploy. So this code right here, I don't deploy. Okay, so let me go inside the create React app one. So cd project 1. So the way you know what scripts are available is you go inside of a project's package.json. So here's the list of dependencies. That's all wonderful. More importantly, I want to look at the scripts. So in create React app, you have 4 scripts. You have start, that's the one that starts the dev server. You have build, which is that's what does the build step and builds your final project. Test is if you want to run any tests, and eject is if you want to unwrap these React scripts. Because these React scripts is technically, it's like a wrapper around Webpack. So you can't change any of the Webpack settings. It just makes it where you don't see as many random files inside your project. So it doesn't look as confusing. As you can see here, like my template, Webpack is visible, so you can see the Webpack config. So all eject does is just release the wrapper and unhides that stuff. Okay, but the only command I really care about right now is build, okay? Just to show you what it does. So generally, that's the first thing you want to do. You want to learn what the build command for that template is. So in this case, it's almost always going to be npm run build. So npm run build. And when you run that, it creates a production build. So see, notice it creates a new folder called build. We don't really need to build it right now, but it's important that we know what folder it creates, because it's going to create the final version. So see here, we have a final version that's all compiled. Okay, and this one I could just literally just open up in the browser using live server. This one will work. And well, that one didn't quite work the way I expected it to, but not an issue at the moment. Okay, cool. So the next step, now let's go to this one, see what the 2 commands are there. So I'm going to go cd back up into the parent folder, React, and now I'm going to go cd into project 2. Now here, when I take a look at the create React basic package.json, okay, we know it's just 3 scripts. I don't really care about watch. I see dev script. This is the script that's going to run our dev server for this particular template. So npm run dev. And then there's the build command, and that'll do a build. Now, I know what this is going to build to. It's going to build to a folder called dist, D-I-S-T, for distribution. But just so you can see it at work, I just type in npm run build. Oh, I have to install npm install. I got to install the dependencies. Let that do that. It'll take some time. Okay, cool. And then what I do is I run npm run build. Okay, it builds. And see, it creates a folder. Actually, no, in this case, I made it actually build to a build folder. Okay, good. That was good of me to do. Okay, so this builds to a build folder. So they both end up building a build folder. That is sort of a configuration you build here. So you see here, I chose it to make it a build folder in my Webpack configurations. In a lot of my other templates, it's dist folder, so. Okay. So with that, the next step is just to push these up to GitHub. So since I got this one open, I'll do that one first. Git commit -m. Well, first I gotta make a repository, which technically I cloned it, so it should be a repository in there. I just want to remove the existing remote. So git remote rm origin. That'll remove the origin remote. And then I need to create a new repository. So let's head over to GitHub. And I will create a new repository. Test deploy 1. Okay. Create the repository. I'm gonna link it up. Paste. Okay, cool, that's connected. I can always just test it out to make sure I got there by typing in git remote -v. This shows me my remotes and the URL they connected to, so that looks like what I wanted, so that works. So then I just push this up, git push origin master. Okay, so that's pushed up. Neat. Cool. Now, there it is. Now let's create another one for the other one. New repository. Test deploy to. Create repository. Now this we're going to be doing from the create React app one. So cd backup a folder. cd into project 2. Okay. Cool. And then what I'm going to do is I have to create a git repository, git init, git commit dash, oh, git add dot git commit dash m commit, and then I have to add the remote. Oh, hey, which one am I looking at? Oh, I'm still in project 2. Not bad. So I meant to go cd into project 1. So git push origin master. Let me just make sure that's all up to date. Oh, I see. I spelled origin wrong. Okay, that's fine. Okay, cd up a folder, cd project 1. Okay, and then here I have to do a git init, git add dot, git commit dash m, commit, add the remote. Okay, git remote dash v, let's make sure it's added. There it is. Git push origin master. Neat. So that's pushed up. So I got both of these pushed up to, now we go to Netlify. And you log in. It's very simple. You're going to create a new site from Git. You click on GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket, whichever one you have it on. So I'm gonna click on my GitHub. It's gonna ask you to connect it. I'm already connected, so then you can look at your repos. I'll search for them. Let's test. Okay, as you can hear, a lot of sirens in Brooklyn. That's just Brooklyn life. Give that a second, but let's see here. I do the test search. There we go. Test deploy 1. Okay, and see, it takes you to the screen. And here's where it's important to know those commands we looked up earlier. I need to know what the build command is. And test deploy 1 should be the second one, so it should be, well, they're both going to be npm run build. Okay, and they're both going to be, and then they both build to a build directory. And you don't need to change anything here. And you just hit deploy site. So then what it does, it's going to clone the code over, build the website. So instead, Netlify will do the actual running the actual build command, and then serve the build folder. And then every time I make a push to GitHub, it'll do it again. So I never have to do this again. It's called continuous deployment. So anytime I push updated code to GitHub, Netlify automatically redeploys my project, which is super sweet. Okay. And well, that's taking some time, so just give it a second. We just wait for this to turn green, and there it is. And there it is. There's the website. Okay, so you would do that, and actually it's the same exact thing for the Create React App one. You would just connect to GitHub, npm run build folder. Well, that's how you would deploy the site to Netlify. And it's going to be the same logic if you're deploying it to Vercel, if you're deploying it to, trying to think what other low-hanging fruit options are there. Those are the main ones, Vercel and Netlify, as far as deploying it there. If you go to my blog, toots.alexmercedcoder.com, I do have a list that I made of places to deploy your code. Here it is, the guide to free, cheap deployment options. Okay, so you have like these options for like if you wanted to deploy something like we just did. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff you can do there. So my name is Alex Merced. Join the Slack and Discord community over there at devnursery.com and have a great day and enjoy.